what's west of his house?
20, the full 40 acres he doesn't want. He would agree to the 20 acres.
And that would be from 16th Street
back so
to
many
the west
feet.
so
Yeah,
far.
I think about the end of the property is that big condition somewhere in there. I assume, I don't know. I never.
There is a fence.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's what he was looking at.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I would not have a problem with putting that 20 acres in for the R1 or 2, whatever. 3 2.
What do you about like to see the other ones?
I'm very comfortable with the country club. I can't speak to other council people, but I don't think that's going to be a big issue. Personally, I don't know why you'd want to change it to the farmland, but that ain't fighting over. I mean, because it's always going to be a country club. If that goes broke and quits, it ain't going to make a difference what it is, because the town ain't going to be here. So, yeah, because it's out of debt. There's no debt there.
Was that the thinking, you think, for some of them, that they thought?
I think they're just, as George had said, and I'm not going to say where they got their information at. I did not provide them any information. I think they're the same way of saying. They just don't. Agricultural, they know they can do anything pretty well they want. They're afraid about the residential. I have talked to some chemical dealers. A lot of the golf courses are in residential areas and cities, and most of the chemicals that are used. I talked to Doug. That's not a big deal, but I think it's just perceived perception of, okay, we're happy with agriculture. We aren't going to do nothing with agriculture, so it's, why change it?
Well, we just kind of clean up our map, which is not very workable.
I don't know what the rest of the council people would do if you put the 20 acres in and the country club as residential. I don't know how they would vote. But I tell you right now, I don't have any strong feelings on it, but I think that's something they could work with either way.
Well, the country club is just an acceptable use in residential, so we just, like we said.
But I guess, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but I guess, why monkey with it? Why not leave agriculture and be done with it? Then that's not it. And I don't know, unless you give me a real good reason why it should be changed. There's nothing south of it. If you change the south of the Georges.
Well, didn't we originally have the south?
Yeah, if it was part of the south, then it should be.
Yeah,
should be agricultural.
Yeah, that's what we originally had, was that land that belongs to George Glass.
Because, show me, where is this one that they sold to Brian?
Right here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so he's talking this small section here.
No, I don't think all that. I think he's just talking this right here.
You guys want to look on the big map, so there's no.
Yeah.
That way, you're not assuming anything.
Because
I'll say it.
Is George's new house in an agricultural area?
Presently. And that would be some that we would be rezoning?
No.
I don't know how far you're going.
If you
south.
do the 20 acres, it would.
You're just the landings, aren't you?
Yeah, if you do the 20 acres, you
Just behind Lannix.
Yeah.
You do the 40.
Yeah.
Brian, do you know where you purchased? Is that whole field George's?
Yes.
Now, I walked back down Sandy's. You were telling me that basically you guys are right up against those pine trees, if I remember right.
Basically, pulling her driveway, and it's
right there it starts.
Yep.
And, I walked down there a ways past Sandy's place and, trying to line up with this fence that George told me about. I'm not a farmer. To me, it looks bigger than 20 acres.
It is. It goes back in there to the west, and then it goes north back behind the Army Reserve Center. It all winds back in there.
Okay.
I think you just have to draw a straight line from someplace and go up to how far south you want to go and call it good and move on. If it's 18 acres or 22, I think that's insignificant. Just a matter of getting it done.
Well, the easiest way to describe limitations, one is you can either do it by outlot, limitations. You can also do it by footage of outlot limitations. And to give you an example there, if you wanted to do, say, for instance, the 20-acre discussion that's gone on, we could basically measure how many foot that is from there to the fence, and say, and if that's all within one outlot, we can just simply say the first 75 feet, northern 75 feet of outlot 13 or something like that, and that's that's a acceptable description that we can identify in a zoning.
You can scale it off a map and
Right.
some imaginary lines.
So if it's adjacent to R1s, it isn't really considered spot zoning then, is it, unless we put a little square?
There's actually an example of spot zoning up there, Charlotte, if you want to give them.
Yeah.
There's a couple of circles.
If you did one lot at a time, that would be spot zoning.
Or the middle of an agriculture area or something where you went in and just did one.
Like if I went out here and said, okay, I want my building zoned something different than that.
A great example is if you look immediately south of the fairgrounds, the circle that's the fairgrounds, you'll see an R2 circle and this little black square highlight. You see it, Shirley? That would be spot zoning. Yes, that would be an example, classical example of spot zoning.
So where we are right now with the latest proposal, we have more of George's property than what he's comfortable with still. Is the whole holdup?
You have
That and the country club scare there for a minute? Is that right? I mean, that was what blocked it last time?
in the southwestern corner, you have the country club on the west side of 16th Street, all set to be R1.
On the west side.
I'm sorry,
East
east
side,
side.
Okay.
And then on the west side, you have 40 acres of George's property running to the city limits, all in R1.
And that's what he objected to, or did he give on that?
He said he would allow us to do 20 acres, but not
Okay.
whatever whatever we had marked. So.
Well, I'll say it again. Some progress is better than stalemate. And if we can make a proposal that would get this north part up here and try to push for it, and get at least part of this changed and in the right direction, then I say that's what we do.
What, George, what, the east half of that 40 acres that is west of 16th Street?
Immediate to 16th Street and then back so many feet.
That must come up to 20 acres though?
That's what he said. And
Roughly,
I wouldn't have a slightest idea, but
I don't think he knows. He
don't know.
He just looking from the street, going west and guessing.
That wouldn't be very difficult for us to do.
you can do it here, or I'm sure we can go out to FSA and talk.
I'm presuming before you present this to the council that you would have a legal description, because whatever we pass, we're passing blindly tonight.
Well,
I don't know, give
do
or
we have a
take,
legal
20,
description on
yeah.
40 acres?
We have a legal description on Menzel's property. That's, the reason we went to 40 acres is
And
the fence line area.
how many acres
so.
is it, Brian?
Just a little bit less than one.
A little less than 1 acre?
I think you have the description, don't you, Shirley?
How deep did you say?
With the road taken out, it's less than one.
Oh,
How far deep?
what, 16?
How many feet in?
0.92 acres.
Did Metzer have?
Or somebody said 20 some odd feet or 30 some odd feet in.
I've never measured it. I don't have.
Okay.
And then about 200 feet square, Brian.
Well, you're talking
30
about,
feet, what's that I'm talking about?
well, what
far
I'm
they-
sitting
how
here
far
saying
back?
is that affects, it's only affecting outlot 10, 11, and 12. So if you were to say the eastern, you see what I'm saying here? If you said the eastern 30 feet of outlot 10, 11, and 12, it would basically be cutting a straight line right down here.
You'd want more than 30 feet. though.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you that as
Well, I was
an
gonna say,
example.
jeez,